Hello, sewing friends, and welcome to my channel. I am so glad to see you. I'm so glad to be on here. It has been a while since I have posted a video. Some of you might be going, where'd she go? And I am so sorry. I'm going to tell you where I've been and what I've been up to. But first, I wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much for all of your wonderful, heartfelt comments, your encouragement, telling me things, like that you can understand my teaching and that it's easy to follow, or you just, maybe a couple of you reached out and even said, we're like twins, we have the same story. You guys have no idea how much you touched my heart and how much you kept me going through some really hard months. You might be also coming through some hard months. How was your summer? Are you sewing full-time? Are you helping brides full-time? And did you just kind of come through that chaotic bridal season and you feel a little worn and torn? Let me know in the comments. How was your bridal season, 2023 bridal season? Did you get a lot of new customers? Were you overwhelmed? Did you have just enough? Did you schedule out yourself some time to have a break in between? A weekend or a day off to do nothing, no sewing, no talking to customers. Let me know in the comments how your summer went, your bridal season went. And I know sometimes lately we can kind of go round the clock, round the year, but this is the time of year that traditionally things start to slow down. And you kind of get to the end of here and you're like, I got nothing left to give. Are you like that right now? Well, I am too, and for many reasons. First of all, I started this channel, I think in February of this year. Believe it or not, it's brand new. And I did it out of a love for you guys, and I wanted to, pass some of the knowledge that I've learned through the years on to you. And I started it and I got rolling, and it wasn't just a month and a half when my mother passed away unexpectedly with an aneurysm, and it kind of rocked our world because it wasn't like we were prepared for it at all. It just came out of nowhere. And then I made a few more videos just trying to go through the motions, and I felt almost like I was walking through sludge. That's what I would say my year has felt like, kind of walking through sludge. And at the same time, it was bridal season. And I had, June, July, August, I still had a lot of brides I was trying to take care of that were already on the books. So I'm just going as fast as I can through that. And then also, I have a couple aging parents, my in-laws and my own dad that, are doing great, but they just need extra help, or to drive to doctor's appointments or anything like that. And so balancing all of that made it pretty impossible for me to make some videos during the summer, because when I was sewing, I was just trying to cram it in and get these customers their dresses, and I didn't have time to stop and video it. So I apologize for that. But the other reason is I was walking through some sludge, some grief. It just felt so thick. And then we, just about a month ago, my husband's dad kind of took a turn for the worst. His stepdad, who's really a lot like his real dad, taught him everything he knows as far as building and working on cars. And I even met him when I was just 17. And he's just been an instrumental part of our lives. And he made a turn for the worse and started getting really sick. He had dementia, and then his health started to decline, and we couldn't figure it out. And in the last weeks of his life, found out he also had lung cancer, which was one of the keys to a lot of the reasons why he wasn't feeling well. And so he did pass away about 3 weeks ago. And so here we were, just getting through our summer of crazy bridal season. And God is good. I'm gonna just sing His praises right now, because my last bridal customer walked out of the Wednesday before he passed. It was the beginning of October. I'm trying to even remember what the dates were. And I let my last dress go home with the bride, and I thought, I'm going to take a couple weeks just to kind of take a breather. And I turned a few people away for the reason that I just needed a little break, and then I could start back up. And at 5:30, she took her dress home, and at 6 o'clock, we got a call from my mother-in-law that we needed to have her husband, Michael, taken by ambulance to the hospital. And that was on Wednesday, and he passed away in the home in hospice the next Monday. So part of me is shocked. Part of me is in awe of God's timing, that I had to kind of drop everything. And then we were, at the hospital and taking her to the hospital. And then, we shifted to bringing him home on hospice. And I could just sit there all day with him and her, and kind of be there to support them. And I didn't have anything on my books. And what a huge blessing that was. So I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for this career. Are you a bridal seamstress? And do you find, that you can have a little more flexibility? You can block time out of your calendar. I know when I was first doing it, I was overwhelmed, and I did not block myself time. And I did not listen to that little voice that says, why don't you just not take the next 2 dresses and just take a little time off? And that little voice ended up to be right on. Thank God I listened to it. So anyways, that's kind of where I have been in just navigating grief, and navigating a heavy bridal season, and navigating a summer without my mom, and navigating all the holidays, and watching my dad grieve. And I even went on a road trip to see my sister in Washington this August, the beginning of August. And so this career choice has been completely just a blessing, a godsend. And I hope you feel that too. And so I wanted to kind of go, this video that I've been wanting to do has been floating around in my head for probably a couple months. Midsummer, when I was up to here in bridal lace and thread, and I was exhausted, and I wasn't getting enough sleep, and I was trying to do it all, trying to prepare the family dinners and run to the doctor with families and all of those kind of things. I thought to myself, I just want to quit. I just want to stop sewing, and I want to just stop life and just quit. Have you ever felt like quitting? Well, if there's ever a time, it's midsummer in a bridal season, on a heavy season, or maybe beginning of fall. Sometimes the fall can even be crazier than the summer. So I was in the middle of that, and I'm sewing along. And next to my desk, often I'm listening to podcasts, or I'm watching YouTube videos. I think this might have even been from a movie that I just had playing in the background. Sometimes I don't even look at what's on the TV. I just listen, maybe an old movie that I've seen before. But something triggered me to write this sentence down. And I often will do that. I have like a little tablet that I'll just write inspiration. And I wrote this down probably last winter, and it sat next to my desk. And this summer it says, know your why. And it says, then in the give up seasons, the give up seasons when you're wanting to throw the towel in, the whole thing, then you need to revisit the why. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Why are you a bridal seamstress? Why do you take on certain clients? Why do you hold the hours you hold? Why is this a career choice? Ask yourself that. Ponder that all week. Write those things down. So some of the things that are my why, there's some small, I have quite a few, but I have some more important ones. But some small ones are, of course, finances. Where else can you get, it's a pretty good income especially if you're in bridal and you can take on quite a bit. You can pay off some debt sometimes. At one point, about a year and a half ago, I had to become the only breadwinner. I had to become the sole breadwinner because my husband had to take off for his health problems, and I was able to do that because I could bring in enough dresses to pay the bills and have a little extra for groceries and all that, even with the raise of grocery prices. So, of course, finances is one of my whys. And then also my schedule. If I were to go work at a fabric store, work in retail, which is what I am good at. I'm good at retail. I could even go, now that I've owned a bridal shop, I could go work at a bridal shop, but my hours wouldn't be flexible. I'd have to go with where I was working, and I'd have to work the hours they needed me to work. And if I was on the schedule, I couldn't change that. And with being a bridal seamstress, I can block out days. I can meet customers only one day a week, cram them all in, and then just sew the other days of the week. I can block out time to take my mother-in-law to doctor's appointments. I can, it's just very flexible. So flexibility is another one of my whys. And where else am I going to find that? Let's see. I love sewing. This is my passion since I was a little kid with a Barbie doll. I love to sew. I love to play with lace. I love to design. I love to be surrounded by this stuff. So that's another why. And I love to help my brides. I just enjoy being part of their story. That just gives me so much joy, being part of their story. And also, I love to help them with marriage advice, or just be a listening ear. Or I happen to give most of my brides up until the last couple of years, because I just haven't gotten them out. I'm just running behind this last year. But I used to give all of my brides a book called Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts, as like a little in the mail with a little thank you card and stuff. And it has the 7 conversation pieces that you should start with your future spouse. And it's a great little gift. And so I had kind of another motive that I love to be part of, maybe helping somebody stay married a little longer, or, whatever your reason is. But for this channel, and the reason my why is this channel, I had thought, gosh, maybe I don't have time to make these videos. If you film yourself, doing a project, it doubles your time. Plus you still have editing to do. And so just setting up the camera and all the different angles. So I thought this summer, I was thinking, gosh, maybe I shouldn't make, there's other better videos out there. There's other people making videos. But this why stems back into when I owned my dress shop, my bridal shop. I used to hire seamstresses, and I had a heck of a time finding seamstresses. And I, even as a young seamstress way back in the day, did not even know that this was possible. I didn't know you could go to a bridal shop and say, hey, I'd love to do some alterations for you. I had no idea this was a thing. That would have been so helpful when my kids were little and I was trying to be a stay-at-home mom with them. I could have, in the evenings or when they were sleeping, I could have done a little bit of alterations to help, offset the cost of me being home with them during the day or during their nap time, whatever. So I think my biggest why, especially for this channel, is that I have a desire to leave a legacy. I have a desire to let somebody else, give somebody a hand up, to show them that if they have a passion for sewing, they can turn it into a career. If they have a passion for sewing, they can, have some flexibility, some income for their family. They can do all of these things. And actually, if they really want to take on even more clients, they could pay off debt. So I have I think that's my biggest why, especially for this channel. I, at one point in my bridal shop, even had my husband create an area where I could get 3 seamstresses all around this giant cutting table. And I had this dream that I would just try to hire some that were good at sewing, but just needed to have, some things like in bridal world, they needed to know some techniques and stuff like that. So I had this desire, and I think it was about 2 years before COVID in 2020, my husband redid this whole back area so that I could actually do a little bit of a school, like on a single level. And when COVID happened and I ended up closing my shop the next year, all of those dreams kind of felt impossible, and they felt like I couldn't. I thought, wow, I had that dream and now it's gone. And then when I built this studio, or my hubby built this studio, and we put this in our backyard, I tried to make a space to have some other seamstresses come. But then it became hard for me to teach them while I'm also trying to do my own alterations, because it's so much work, to set stuff aside and all that kind of stuff. So when YouTube came along, this is my solution to be able to pass on my knowledge and pass on the things that I've learned along the way and have a little bit of a legacy. So once again, I want to thank you guys, because when I was in my doubting, my give up season, in my struggle season, as soon as I would think to myself, maybe I just will not do this channel. Maybe it's just too much. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. One of your comments would come across, 2 or 3 or 4 sometimes in a day. And I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I need to keep going. And you guys encouraged me to keep on going. And in fact, about a month ago, I was planning on doing this video when my father-in-law passed away, and it's put us out about another month. But anyways, here we are coming into what is typically my slow season. So I have time now to do more videos, to really get going on this. And actually, I think I'm going to, as I'm bringing in customers, keep in mind that I also want to do videos in the midst of it and schedule those in. That's another one of those scheduling things. So thank you again for keeping me going, and thank you for letting me take a little bit of a break and then come back and say, okay, let's do this again. So if you are in a give up season, think about your why and reinitiate or your excitement and your passion. Maybe stop and all you need is a little bit of a break. Maybe you just need some rest. Take a little time off, and then start to do stuff creative and find out what your why is and jump back in. So there will be more videos coming soon. I plan on now filming on a regular basis. So thank you all, and have a wonderful day. Happy sewing.